Hello everyone, Zelrant here, and today on the CN side, they have released their newest patch update that came with Yuhi, and we have all the numbers on that on the spreadsheet, and I'm planning to make a follow-up video for her in the future, probably tomorrow at some point. But for now, one of the big things that I saw on Reddit that came out for them that I think everybody on us, including myself, on the global side, the next time we get a feedback of any type, is to push heavily for them to put this into the English side or the global side, and that is this new preset loadout system that they have added on the CN side. So I thought we'd take a quick look at it and see how useful this can be for your teams. And my cat's kind of trying to get in here, I guess. She always does this at the start of videos. But first thing is we have the preset system. Basically what this is an easy way to set up your teams so you can easily swap between different T-Dolls and rearrange weapons and their attachments as well as their common keys without having to manually do this. And then we already know with the Gunsmoke Frontline it can be quite tedious if you're trying to min-max these fights when you're swapping out your weapons. So maybe you only have one copy of the Golden Melody, but both your QJ wants it and some other assault rifle user, it's the best weapon for them. But then they also, even though they both want the Golden Melody and you only have one, but they also want different attachments, so now you're having to swap out your attachments, and that can be a pain, especially if you're trying to do the Gunsmoke. And like right now, I currently don't worry about that. At my best case is I'll swap the weapon. I say screw the attachments and trying to min-max that. But with this system, you can make it where it is working in an optimal way. And so we'll kind of take a look at these images that they have here from the game. This is coming from a Reddit post from Novel Albatross 7555. And so the first thing they show here is the preset screen. You can have up to 6 presets of teams. So you can see they have their fire team with all the fire dolls. They have your Tololo Springfield team that looks like this one's going to have Mekti, Parita, and probably Kluke, because that's a big team. And quite a few other little bit teams here. But you can have basically 6 preset teams set up here. And then when you go into the next image here, you can show where you're setting up the individual units. So you go into that preset, and now you can set up the individual T-Dolls that you want there. But not only that, you put the weapon that you want them to have, as well as the attachments you want on those weapons. And that to me is going into even more detail, because it's easy enough that you can swap the weapons, but you have to keep the attachments. The weapons or the attachments stay with the weapons. You're not attaching the attachments to the unit, you're attaching them to the weapon. So with this, now when you swap between the presets, it is also going to swap the attachments alongside it. So you can use the same assault rifle amongst all your units that need it, but you can swap if you need Hydro for Tololo, electric stuff for your electric units, and the rest of them. But then the other big thing here that has too is presets for their keys. And this is one thing I really didn't think of with the loadout, but that is another big one that it takes a lot of time to kind of swap in and out depending on what you're doing. So if you have your general all-content team, you can have them set up with different fixed keys versus their bossing fixed keys, but also the common keys. And one of the biggest problems I have with the common keys that I don't really mess with it right now because it's so tedious is a lot of the units share the same common keys that are best for them. One of the big ones is Ulrids. Ulrids is pretty much good on just about everyone for bossing, because as soon as that boss has any damage done to him, it automatically takes effect of giving him a 7% damage increase. So you want to put that common key on everybody, and it should be on at least one doll in every team you do. Well, I'm not going to take the time to go in and swap that in on all my members as I do each of my Gunsmokes every day manually. But here you can assign it into the units for your preset, which makes it extremely nice to just swap in and out. So you just click the one preset, go to the Gunsmoke, do it with that team, click the next one, boom, boom, boom. Now that's setting up the T-Dolls, and then you can kind of see here, here's the interface for your presets for your weapons. So you kind of go even more into it. While you had that one screen that was kind of the general everything for the T-Doll, this is what the weapon one looks like. As you can see, you select which weapon you want, which attachments, and you can see that in this case, they have this one assigned to Belka. And then we have the common key ones, similar thing. You have your doll up here, so this one's using Dush, and then you're selecting what you want the fixed keys to be, and then what your common keys are going to be down here. So just the same as that, really nice and easy. And then, let's see, the next quality of life that came today is its auto battle action sequence. And so this is another big one that I think will make it really easy, especially for Gunsmokes, when it comes to, because it can get tedious. Now, you might want to min-max it in the beginning with manual, but over time, you might want to just accept that the team can kill it by themselves. You just don't want to have to manually think about it once you get them strong enough. And that's where this can come into play. And so this is setting up how they are going to function. So this is setting up the team for Gunsmoke right here. And the next part down here, I believe... Yeah, so it's just like with PvP setup, you can set up their sequence of order of how they're going to do things. So I want this person to go first, which is going, I mean, in this case, they're showing kind of a mix here, but you always pretty much are going to want QJ to go first if you're doing a team that has her. So once you're set up correctly, you want QJ to do her ultimate first, and then everybody else to do their actions, which will trigger it, which you have there. And then... you can go down in here, and it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of hard to see in this with all the Chinese, but you can actually do it from that menu, it looks like, as well. So you can go in here and adjust the presets directly from in the fight. So if you have something messed up within the fight, you can immediately adjust it right there on the spot. And then it says dial. So the loadouts change has the revert button, which will undo all changes made for this dial. If two dials on the same screen have exchanged weapons, revert button will swap the weapons automatically. If you swapped keys, they will not be swapped automatically. But pressing revert all button will revert all changes to the armory state. You can also choose to sync your loadout with the armory state to use it again. So it's basically, you can go in here, make changes for that battle specifically, and then have it revert back to the way it was functioning before. And so overall, this is a big change that we see that we always want in our games. One thing that makes Honkai Star Rail annoying, Zenless Zone Zero annoying, any game where you have multiple teams that you need to use to complete the endgame content, where those multiple teams may share some common items amongst each other, being its relics for HSR, whatever the heck they call them, disk drives in ZZZ, weapons and that kind of stuff in Sword of Convalaria. It is annoying to have to manually change that stuff around as you're completing different content. And to me, it actually makes me want to quit some of them because it's too time consuming, and I'm not willing to put in the time to do that to complete the in-game content. This is a huge upgrade that shows that they're willing to put in the time to put in an improvement. And that's why I think everybody should make your feedback known that you want this in the game as soon as possible on the English side. I don't know what it takes for them to kind of translate the programming in it from this to our side of things, but I'm hoping they've already given us a lot of the quality of life early from CN, so I'm hoping we can get this very, very shortly, within maybe another couple patches. But I think everybody should make it known that you absolutely want this in the game, because it just makes it so much nicer, because you just get your best attachments for your different setups, set them up on the presets, and then you don't even have to think about it again. There's no having to go in and mess with them again once you have your teams built. But yeah, this is a huge thing to be added, and I am really excited for when it comes to global, because and I'm hoping it comes by the time we start getting a full solidified multiple teams, because I know right now we're kind of cookie cutter throwing them together just to finish Gunsmoke. But down the line, once you have enough units that you can do all three of them, if you do 3 hits fairly easily, this is going to become even more handy. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you think about this system and if you're excited for it coming to global. But yeah, if you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.